Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1130, The Accursed Prince. Now I will admit I did try review this chapter a couple of days back, but I was so tired that I lost track of what I was saying a few times, in the sense of being like Sleepy Joe Biden, I guess, in the sense that I wasn't satisfied with the review, so I'm trying it again. I only tried this review a few times before, but I was so occupied with like the US election that and other personal matters that let's see, I didn't have time to do a full review for this chapter. Unfortunately, the next chapter has come out before this one. I could review this one, but I'm hoping to try and get this one done so I can review the next chapter and then try and review the next chapter on the weekend. But yeah. So anyway, here is the Accursed Prince. But before we get there, I suppose we should probably another recap for the last chapter is pretty much Luffy and the others end up running from the alleged Sun God Giant, which was revealed to be Rose from the new Giant Warrior Pirates, who's a bit of an Ukitaku kind of creep, if you will. Let's see, Nami blasts him with lightning and they escape, and are now entering the land of Elbaf as let's see, as they have reunited with Chopper. And all that. So, well, actually, they reunited Chopper a few chapters back, but still. But anyway, continuing on before that, we've got the Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Circuit, Pilgrimage, Volume 17. Sword got stolen during nap time. As we see Yamato sleeping on her back, doing a little snoring snort, with next to her side is Tama sleeping next to Yamato. Also got a little snot bubble coming out, if you will. And we see a shadowy arm grabbing like Lord Yashu's sword, taking her away. This seems to be finding what will probably drag Yamato into searching for like these missing people and also to retrieve the sword. So arguably we have a bit of conflict, and it seems like Tama will be Yamato's companion during like the quest to find the mini side quest to find the sword. How long this will last, who knows? If I had to guess, this is probably a member of the Beast Pirates that's still on here, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it looks like things are finally starting to happen in the cover story that causes conflict for Yamato. Anyway, on to the actual chapter itself of One Piece, in which we see Frankie telling the giant warrior pirates that to call off the search now, saying it's over, much to their surprise, and saying how we've searched everywhere, but we cannot find them. But they're confident that they know they're alive. As Frankie goes on to thank them for for their efforts, Robin goes tells them that they agreed and say they should wait for them in Elbaf since they're heading to that place anyway. Jinbei talks about how let's see, he even used a shark network to see his ability to talk to sharks, and they couldn't find anything. And Mexico is grateful for their efforts, and Brock points out that they are out of food, so they need to replenish the supply, otherwise they've starved. Let's see, Brogy I think ends up saying, "Okay, fair enough. Let's see if you lot are part of Luffy's crew says this, that's fine." Telling his crew to set sail back to Elbaf as they all start cheering. And then one of them says, "Let's take a toast to a safe return." But one of the crew points out, "Captain, we don't have any food or drinks to do so," and they end up laughing. Anyway, we cut back to the Alabasta crew, if you will, where Luffy is being excited about how huge the place is. Just looking at how old the trees are. As we get a bit of a landscape of just how big the place is, we see a giant castle and Luffy has a little tiny dot and like a long bridge. Let's see, wondering if everything's like this. People looking at at mountains and how long the ropes to the bridge are. Nami is commenting about how so vast this place is that she feels like she's getting dizzy looking at it. Let's see, but some of them, I think Sanji and Usopp notice that some giants are coming down from the bridge, so they should hide. And these giants reveal to be none other then members of the new giant warrior pirates, Gerd, who was Big Mom's friend, if you will, when she was during her time in Elba, though she's now come to probably hate her as all giants do, and Goldberg, the let's see, the big chubby one with the like a little I guess you could say circle nose, who was also in the Big Mom flashback, but a newborn babe, who was apparently around the same age as Loki, I believe, same as Rogue. Let's see, but we see that Gerda's also got a companion owl with her called Piper, and she's just talking to Goldberg while we get the introduction of her being Crew's doctor and Goldberg being the crew's cook. But you pretty much have Gerd talking about how why did Hedron have to bring that widow onto Crew, and they're referring to Road, Ritzy, and he's being pointer, and Goldberg's pointing out that well he's a good navigator. But she just, of course, still hates him, thinks him saying that Loki's not the shame of Elba. It's actually Road, which Goldberg's just laughing about how Road would probably like that. But anyway, you got Gerd just blushing to her little owl saying, Piper, you saw his crow carrying something, a little boat and all that stuff, which the owl nods. Let's see, Goldberg says they have intruders to be caught then, but Road Gritty ends up creating creates intruders all on his own, saying, sort of laughing about how much trouble like that guy brings him in. Ooh, we've got someone here called Will saying One Piece, going OMG, I am a big fan. Oh, well, thank you, Will. I'm glad that you seem to be a big fan. I hope you enjoy this stream. Though it seems like you might have left, though if you do return, feel free to comment. So, yeah. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah. We pretty much see them, let's see, we see the Straw Hats laughing, hiding. Particularly Nami telling Luffy to hide. Luffy thinks they otherwise seem nice, but tells them to stop, as we hear Gerd saying she's going to go find the intruders and then tell Chief Jaro, the elder giant that was one of the two elders that lived 400 years and were the predecessors before, let's see, Doggy and Groggy, but one of them ended up being killed by Big Mom, and that's why all giants hate her, for those who do not recall, but yeah. But anyway, Usopp is getting excited since he heard the name Elbaf, so he realizes that they're actually here. Sanji's excited at the fact that Gerd is a beautiful giant lady, and Luffy's just trying to say, "Hey guys, we're here," but Nami just quickly grabs him out around his mouth and says, "Shush, you idiot!" Saying that, pointing out, reminding him that their said intruders will get caught. The two giants look around, thinking they're hearing something, but they decide that they just imagine it, so they just walk off. And that's when they sort of, let's see, head to where Road is and try and find out what he's doing. But anyway, you get, let's see, the Straw Hats continuing to walk on the long, let's see, rope ladder thing, if you will, rope bridge. Comments about how shaky it is. Zoro says that they got to hurry if those giants come back. There'll be nowhere for them to hide. Let's see, Nami, I think, commenting about how a giant-sized bridge means every step is a pit to avoid. Let's see, but Sanji just says, don't worry, Nami, I used to balance on ropes all the time, as I think Chopper is carrying her, saying that he's good at this kind of situation. Usopp is just sort of carrying around, let's see, in the corner of the bridge, holding onto the rope, saying, it's a trial fit for a brave warrior. Zoro is just sitting down. Let's see, and someone comments how the forest below is packed with giant wolves, as we see a bunch of giant wolves around the bridge, looking up at the Straw Hats, looking like they want to eat them. Anyway, Zoro ends up asking Luffy what's up, and him just saying that, as Luffy's just standing there, he says, can you feel that too? Something's tingling, as he says that, and let's see, Sanji saying he's not going, and so it's about to say he will go, but Sanji says that he's not allowed to go either, and he's not setting the foot in the forest or any forests at all, just due to his habit of getting lost. Luffy then says whatever he heard warrants back in the block of this kingdom, so he jumps down off the bridge, telling the others to keep going, but the others are just shocked as Nami asks what Luffy's doing. Usopp's just trying to say, be brave. Usopp, Chopper goes like, where are you going? It's all wolves down there, showing their concern, as they can now no choice but to continue on without their captain. Okay, I think I'm going to give my thoughts on these bits of the chapter here. I do like how you got Franky sort of taking command of like the Robin group, if you will. Now, arguably, because arguably many of these members of the Straw Hats here were either captains or leaders of their own gangs before, but I guess you could say Franky was always a bit of a mafia boss, if you will, with the Franky family. So I'm not surprised that he would take charges. I think Jinbei considers himself the junior of the Straw Hats and willing to listen to the orders of all the other members. And I think Rock was like the replacement captain for his crew as well, and doesn't mind only following orders from like the Straw Hats. So yeah, and I don't think Robin minds see Franky taking charge. So I think it makes sense that Franky would end up being the one that sort of looks like to be the leader of the role of this group, which I think for some people are disappointed that Franky didn't get a bit of a major role in Egghead because of like its Vegapunk and all that. It's at least getting something to do here. But I do like how he's just being the one to say the call of the shot, much to the shock of the Giants. But I do like how Franky's reasoning, like, they searched everywhere, but they're confident their captain and the rest of their crewmates are alive. So, let's see. But so thanks them, thanks them for their efforts, but it's best that they move on. I do like Robin also pointing out that logic there also being Elbaf. I also like that Jinbei has used his fishman abilities to talk to fish, particularly sharks, to help them try and search out for the Straw Hats. I think that would make sense, and it's probably a reason why Oda decided to have a fishman in the crew, because of like be able to do stuff like this. But granted, at the moment, it's not necessarily being used to full effect here, but that's because the strat's already on Elbaf. I do like Robin Rock's logic about how we're out of food supplies. I do like how the Gritty giant captains are just pretty much saying, okay, if you guys say so, let's head away. I do like how they completely forget that they're out of food supply, calling for a feast, and one of their crew has to point that out. Anyway, the scale of Elbaf is impressive when you look at like how small Luffy is with this giant castle. I mean, we've seen Luffy. We have some like scales of big castles before, but this little time, but even this is not like a full-on double trade spread, and this one looks already bigger than all the other castles that the Straw Hats have ever been in. So I do like that. And it's so fast that Nami feels even a bit dizzy, and she's like arguably the best navigator in the world, and even she's having a hard time just navigating all this lands. But anyway, I do like that we're finally getting other members of the new giant warrior pirates coming in, particularly Gerd and Goldberg. I mean, granted, we haven't yet to see who drew them, but we're learning a little bit about these giant warrior pirates crew things, and probably, arguably, there's probably a reason why the new giant warrior pirate that's only having like 5 crew members is so that we can have more individual characteristics with these 5 giants, who are probably being set up to play a role in like Elbaf's arc, arguably probably more minor support roles because they're not the main focus, and they're just sworn into the Straw Hats. But nevertheless, it is nice to see the members of this crew and the members of this crew talking and interacting and learning a bit about the relationships. Particularly the fact that it seems like Gerd and Goldberg don't actually really like Road because, well, he's a bit of a creep. But at the very least, Goldberg at least is willing to admit that, Road does have, is quite a skilled navigator that they need to, travel the seas and all that stuff. But yeah, we also learn a bit more about how the Giants seem to have a bit more pets as we introduce the Piper. who's keeping a track of like the crow that Road has. So I do like that. But yeah, at the very least, it seems like everyone in the crew doesn't really like Road, but tolerate him for his, let's see, navigation skills. But Gerd seems to get along well with Goldberg, and she seems to be fond of her pet owl at the very least. So yeah. But yeah, but also it seems like there's a lot of also the patrol, but Road always ends up causing them problems by bringing in intruders to his castles, from the sounds of things. But yeah, but also an interesting thing is learned is that Chief Sarul is actually still alive because that elder giant was like 400 years old, and even now it's 50 years later, he's still alive despite the fact that the average lifespan of a giant is, let's see, 300 years. So he is like 150 years or so past his let's see, supposed to be deathbed, if you will, but he is still alive. Granted, he's managed to outlive like his friend, but that was because he was unfortunately tragically killed by Big Mom. But he's still alive. I'm very curious to see what this character will play a role in the arc in the future. Will he be a hindrance to the Straw Hats? Will he like them? Will he even be a fan of Kid if he's still alive, since Kid is technically the one, along with Law, to actually defeat Big Mom, since, well, the Giants, let's see, or you know how much the Giants hate Big Mom. So there is that. Now, I do like Usopp's enthusiasm to learn that they're in Elbaf. Sanji, well, let's see, him being a bit of a fanboy over like a pretty giant lady. No surprises there. But yeah, but I do like how Luffy's trying to be all like, "Oh, these guys have seemed nice. Hello, everyone, we're here." But now he's like, "Shh, shh, shh, shh. Luffy, don't do that. We can't trust these giants. They might think we're just intruders." Unfortunately for let's see, Nami, she is completely unaware of the members of the Straw Hat Clan fleet, particularly these members of the Giants, are technically their subordinates, since they've pledged themselves to the Straw Hat crew, and since they're technically regarded as senior officers, these lot would probably obey their orders, if you will. So we do have that. But let's see, but honestly, but yeah, but unfortunately do not know, despite the fact given like being regarded as senior officers and all that stuff. So yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if after this arc, the members of the Straw Hats, particularly the ones from the Whole Cake or Sanji teams, will probably try to get themselves more up to date of like who's considering who to be Luffy's allies and all that. So they will learn to like trust if they ever encounter them again and all that stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how the more of this bit of the scale. But also, interesting thing to learn is apparently Gerd considers Road to be the shame of Elbaf, not Loki. So this gives us an idea that Loki is not really held in high regard, despite being once the Prince of the Giants. That that citizens of this kingdom were once willing to forgive Big Mom if Loki did end up marrying Lola. So let's see, Big Mom's daughter. But it seems like whenever that happened, at this point, Loki has now fallen from grace, and so much that let's see, Gerd considers Road to be more of a disgrace than him. So it shows you just how bad. Let's see, that sort of reputation seems to have become. So there is that. Anyway, I do also like the scale. We see the scale of the bridge of the Straw Hats just walking, Nami being concerned about the steps. Chopper, of course, being used to climbing stuff like this, is pretty much a natural. So it makes sense that he would not feel too worried about it, and even willing to have Nami climb on, since he did it all the time with Dr. Kunai. Usopp is being a bit cowardly, just trying to assure himself that he's a brave warrior in the sea by hiding onto the corners. But I don't mind this, since this is probably more slowly, you getting these moments to slowly eventually build up Usopp's character arc of becoming a brave warrior in the sea during this review, during this arc, if you will. So yeah. Anyway, I do like how you got Luffy just standing on the rope bar and all that stuff, just staring around. That's so like starting taking notice, and Luffy senses the presence of a truly frightening warrior, and Sanji wants to go look. Meanwhile, Sanji doesn't want to go look, so I want to go look. But I do like how Sanji says, "No, you're gonna get lost. You stay here." But of course, Luffy, being Luffy, wants to go check it out, much to the crew's dismay. And when he ends up leaving them to his own shenanigans, and you know that at some point Luffy's going to get in trouble. We just have to wait and see where it is. Let's trust to this chapter, which I will now be addressing to try and do as well. Okay, pretty much now you've got we cut back to Robin and the Giant Warrior Pirates group with Giants being a bit shocked by what the paper is saying about how they attacked Egghead, as this is what the morning newspaper is saying, and accusing why enough of these lot lie. And they can't see it technically because it's all too tiny to see, but Robin reveals to them that I'll read it for them, saying that the giant pirate crew, returning after a century of slumber with the Emperor Straw Hat, they set the seas around Egghead aflame, and the captains, the giant pirate, Doggy and Broggy, Broggy the Red and Dory the Blue Ogre, are each worth a bounty of 1.8 billion berries. Let's see, much as we see updated bounty posters for the two giants, and they're both a bit shocked by how they have bounties. Let's see, their combined bounty is technically more than Draco Mihawk's just by 10 million, so that's arguably impressive. They're below Crocodile, but their combined bounty is more than, let's see, Hawkeye. So yeah, take that as you will. And more than Luffy and Buggy, I guess, but yeah. Let's see, anyway, you got reacting to the bounties, but let's see. But the other wondering hey, I don't think we really consider ourselves back in action. But the crew members saying you were worth 100 million back in the day, right? Saying now it's a big jump. But Robin points out how this, of course, might mean this course could mean inflation. Let's see, as the currency has changed over time, and a lot has changed over 100 years. So she says it seems appropriate for the Elbaf warrior chief captains now. And also, they to look at the other bits of the newspaper saying, meanwhile, our captains consider this for the culprit who murdered Vegapunk, much to the shock of the other crew members. Let's see, with Frankie commenting about how this is another masterclass in lies and distortion. And you got Lilith Vegapunk sort of laughing, saying, so he killed me, did he? Frankie's just saying, oi, shut up. You know he was protecting you in the end. So he's saying, this is no laughing matter to Lilith. And but Brock is saying, asking when this picture was taken. Jinbei is just, of course, saying how at some point in Egghead, the World Economic Journey has people everywhere, saying that they put good money for photographs. But Robin is more interested in asking, when Luffy attempts this form, does he have this X mark on his arm, which many people will recognize as the Alabaster X mark? And the others are thinking, wait, he's not moving around so much that they never really got a good look. As they start the comment that seems very unnatural, saying that everything about him is blurred, but the mark is pretty crystal clear. Frankie finds this, let's see, this is a strange detail to focus on. Let's see, Robin says it just seems familiar to her. And I think Dory is just then saying, amazing to think the Straw Hats considered equals with red hair now. As Rocky goes about how they had these youngsters named the Julian on our crew. That's saying that he hears that he's now one of their followers. Let's see. As let's see, I think Kashi is saying he's the son of a king too, a real tempestuous brat though. Considering, let's see, so we're talking about how he's a king and son, but a bit not. Let's see, a bit of a young, stubborn brat as compared to them at the moment. So, Frankie's a bit surprised that he was a Tritzy Prince of Elbaf. As it then goes saying they wanted to come and get you as well, but in the end, it was only the old timers doing it. Saying because of a bit of saying that the reason why there's a bit of trouble back in Egghead, back in Elbaf. But the Straw Hats then asking about this trouble as we get one of the regular giants, one with like these sort of twirly mustaches, which you might think you'd see in a villain, but he goes on about how this was something that happened when the captains were away. Let's see, saying that the king had another official child known as the Accursed Prince, saying that he committed all manner of evil acts and was sentenced to crucifixion a few years back, but nearly escaped his punishment, and it took apparently all the warriors to get under control, which is shocking Frankie about how all the giants to get control. So let's see, Jimbo thinks like think about it, asking if the name would happen to be. As you got one of the other giants saying, yeah, he's got a few screw looses, and going like his desperate desire for a legendary devil fruit passed down through the Elbaf royal line led him to kill his father, King Harold, and eat the fruit. And then this giant goes on about how the next time that Loki, the Cursed Prince, is unleashed, it's saying that the world will be brought to ruin, saying about how he is the shame of Elbaf as we cut to Luffy standing before what appears to be Loki chained up with a giant tree sitting down, where it's all strained, with like the iconic Loki horned helmet, but with a bit more of like the metal hat kind of thing. Let's see, a skull belt, and just pretty much a bunch of tattoos around his arm, but pretty much very long, very long Goldilocks hairs, if you will, and pointed beard. And he seems to be bandaged around the eyes, but he is just smiling. In many ways, being a mix of like Zoro, tied up, mixed with Kaido hyper-introduction and Doflamingo smile. In many ways, a combination of many villains, if you will. As Luffy's just standing right in front of him as he tells Luffy to name himself, as Luffy just, of course, does 1,000 times, saying how he is Luffy and he'll be the man who will be king of the pirates. Let's see, which surprises Loki about this title, but Luffy asks about where he is and who he is, as Loki just ends up declaring, saying, this is Warland, Elbaf, Kingdom of Warriors, the most powerful nation in the world, which once lived and breathed warfare. As we see the final chapter is a double-page spread of Elbaf with like a bunch of small mountains, and where the Straw Hat here see Luffy talking in a very small little bit here, so tiny, a giant tree that even a giant sword is in it, but all that stuff. And you see like a giant city at the top of a bunch of cannons, all kinds of things. As Loki declares himself the sun god who brings the world to an end, Loki, ending the chapter. Okay, overall thoughts on these this second half of the chapter. Let's see. We'll start with like the new giant. Let's see, the giant warrior pirates, Dogi and Brogy's new bounties. 1.8 billion. Oda is really going with the billions with this final arc. Let's see, many of these old classic characters are getting updated bounties, and they are going off their billion. I still remember the hype when Crocodiles revealed to have a bounty of 1.9 billion, Bora Hancock 1.6 billion, and Mihawk 3.6 billion. So yeah, we're getting all the big bounties now. All those like previous bounties that used to hype up people when it came to like the Yonko and their crewmates. They all seem rather tame in comparison, minus like the members of the Yonko themselves, and of course the Pirate King, because they still technically have all the higher bounties. But now we're getting all these beloved characters that are across the series getting high bounties now as well. So I do like how they end up reacting to the fact they got bounties and how like updated bounties and how they haven't really exactly officially come back yet. So I do like that. But I do like how each of the members of the crew are questioning like the contents of the newspaper, because Big News Morgans is pretty much stretching the truth, accusing the Giants of helping attack with Luffy, Luffy accusing them of murdering Vegapunk. Yeah, let's see, which if Big News Morgan ever meets the Giants or the Straw Hats, you better be careful because he's like telling lies, which some of their crewmates might not like. So you've got that. So So yeah, I do like how you got that. But anyway, but it is interesting to learn that one of the reasons that the Giants' bounties might be updated is an in-world reference and not about inflation, about prices as in real life. About let's see, about a century ago, during I think the Great Depression, someone that was like had like 100 million, let's see, would end up being like a billionaire in today's times. Particularly, I think 100 million is 1.8 billion today compared to back then. But granted, that does lead to question: is like, is every bounty going to be increased due to inflation? Is like Rogers going to go up a bit? Or is this just a one-time thing over the start did just because you could see the reference to like 100 million bounties to like a billion, if you will, with these characters? But yeah. Oh, sorry, hold on a sec. So yeah, you got like this little commentary from inflation, but I assume that it's just going to be a one-time thing because because in the end of the day, I think Oda's going to have Luffy having the highest bounty, probably at the very least 5.6 billion. So I doubt he wants to do inflation for like Gold Roger, because that would mean Gold Roger has a higher bounty. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This does lead to some questions like, should Brock's bounty be raised? Should have been raised higher since it was like just 33 million bounties like 50 years ago. I don't know. I don't think Oda's really going to delve too much in the economic situation for his manga series, but it is still interesting to talk about at the very least. Anyway, I do like how we learn that. Let's see. I do like how Robin is the one to notice that Luffy's got a sort of X mark on the tattoo. Granted, this is also probably one of the reasons why. Alabasta crew has pretty much been separated from the rest of the Straw Hats from this current moment in time because they're going to learn all this information about the new world outside, but unfortunately they don't know the context to everything. So let's see, none of them are going to realize that the X means that let's see, the symbol of like the friendship of the Straw Hats at the time, and to show where this is like Vivi's attempt to tell the Straw Hats she is here with Big News Morgan. Let's see, which would arguably end up them going to try and find her just to reunite with their dear beloved friend. So will that actually happen? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see if the five elders and Emu also realize, okay, this is what's going down, if you will. So yeah, we got that. Anyway, well, let's see. So that might end up being the case there. But yeah, at the moment, only really Nika Robin has somewhat of an idea because she was there, though granted, arguably on the side of Baroque works at the time. So she is able to deduce it, but she doesn't know the full contents. And arguably, we won't get a reaction to the Straw Hats all fully reunited and all that stuff. And Robin can tell them about the bounce, like the image of Luffy, and then immediately, like, the Alabasta Lock will realize it's Vivi, and will then try and let's see, go off to try and find her. So who knows? This could be hints to leading that Vivi's about to meet some of the Straw Hats very soon, even if it's the group of Straw Hats she does not know or necessarily like, because of Nico, Robin, and her have a bit of a history since she worked for Baroque Works. So yeah, you got that. But anyway, so but yeah, I do like how we learned that Druid's crew is considered the juniors by the giant warrior pirates who are going like and they need to like sort of calm down and know their place a bit. Which, to be fair, even though he's technically like a couple of decades old, that's probably too young for giants' lifespans. So yeah, so it's like listen to your elders, I guess. But yeah. No, I do like how they talk about how Shanks seems to how Luffy's now equals to Shanks, but yeah. But interesting enough, we learned that Hedruin is actually a prince, maybe an illegitimate prince and all that stuff. But that might have been affecting his personality today. especially when we learn this next bit that Loki, the reason why Loki is considered the accursed prince is because, well, he killed his father and seemingly stole the powers of the devil fruit. This legendary devil fruit, we still have no idea what it is. There are some thinking that it might be the god, it's Elbaf himself, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see what it does. But yeah. Hold on a sec. Where was I? Oh yes. Let's see. Loki being disgraced. Apparently, we learned that he's such a disgrace that let's see, he killed his own father, giving him very similar Blackbeard vibes, but getting a bit of hype about him being needed to be restrained by all giants, giving him some sort of Kaido vibe. And he's got a, let's see, we learned down the line, he's got a smile like Doflamingo. So yeah, he's got the sort of charismatic side to him as well, from the looks of it, from the first impressions. Well, before we do go there, I do like how Cola, you got the interaction with from the other members of the crew going like, so you guys killed us then, and all that stuff, and they're trying like, be quiet, you, don't make a situation worse, sort of situation, sort of like incident, if you will. Anyway, more about, let's see, the shame of Elbaf. It seems like backstory similar to Blackbeard killing like someone to acquire fruit. Let's see, being restrained by everyone, similar to sort of like hyping up the power, similar to like to Kaido. And they got the charismatic laugh of Doflamingo. But yeah, I will admit, I really like the sort of first impression we got of Loki. He's just like chained up after a bit of all this hype, and just emphasizes just how dangerous he is, as that's what the other giants are talking about, how dangerous he is, that he needs to be restrained at all times. And you see just how big the chains are when having Luffy stand next to them, if you will. But I do like how Loki is not faced at all by Luffy and just ends up asking, who are you? With Luffy declaring, of course, being king of the pirates for like the 1000th time, if you will. Let's see, as we get like the giant addressing Luffy as king, asking, let's see, everything going on. But well, actually, Luffy is asking everything going on, in which, of course, we get that epic double spread of Elbaf, which the mountains all look small compared to the giant tree, sitting on top of one of the tree branches. Giant sword around, which leads to speculation about the giant, giant fruit, I guess, if you will. Or other abilities that you see throughout the story, but yeah. Very epic scale. It really makes the island feel like massive with the way Oda has drawn it and his assistants. So yeah. And I do like how Loki seems to think that he's going to be under the world, not realizing he's talking to the actual sun god. So yeah, that's arguably the chapter. Ooh, I'm starting to get a little tired, so I'm going to probably wrap this up soon. So yeah. Yeah. Loki, let's see, when Loki was first introduced, he got many people comparing him to Kaido, some Zoro, some Blackbeard, some Doflamingo. Either way, he seems to be a combination of them all. Is he going to be an antagonist to Luffy? Possibly. Is he going to be the main villain? Unlikely, but who knows. But I have seen people also theorize that characters like Zoro, Kid, and Usopp maybe, and even Blackbeard might be able to take an opportunity to attack, let's see, them and claim the recipe, but that might be stretching it a bit too far with like a little drama that happens here behind the scenes, if you will. But yeah, but I really like Loki's design, even like the little hat thing and the sort of hair and bandages kind of thing, which does make me wonder if he's got some dangerous eye ability that lets people help him get out. But anyway, I do like how regardless Luffy's just saying he's going to be a man of kings of the pirates. Let's see, so he's unfazed completely, even though how intimidating Loki is. And then, of course, we get like a sort of gambling episode, if you will. But that might be the next chapter anyway. But yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm starting to get a bit tired. But anyway, but I do like how Loki declares himself to be the next sun god, and in the world not realizing he's talking to the actual new sun god. But either way, it gives you a bit of an idea that he means some very serious business. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, arguably, Loki is like building the hype for Elbaf and probably the strongest giant. But anyway, overall thoughts. This chapter is pretty good setup and follow up to like the aftermath of like the last chapter. The Straw Hats are finally free, only to then try and hide with more of the supposed giant's friends come in, and then they see everything, and then we'll have to wait and see how they react. Let's see what else. I like how the Straw Hats remain calm about. Okay, we've tried everything. Let's just head back to. Let's see. Trying to think. I guess New York, really, but yeah. At least I think it is. But sorry, it's been a while since I've watched the Big Bang Theory, and I'm starting to get a bit tired from losing it there. So I do like how they try and calm the giants down and make all these logical reasonings about, okay, they'll be here, we need to replenish supplies, and they end up agreeing. The scale of like the islands, just how tiny Luffy is. We're actually seeing more members of the new giant warrior pirates and their interactions with each other, so that's nice, even if only briefly. Getting slow sort of build up to like Usopp's hopefully eventual character growth on this arc after hiding and running around all the time, particularly in this time skip. So I do like that. Let's see, Luffy just going to go try and find Loki, and arguably might end up being the one to accidentally release him out. The updated bounties of Dogi and Brogy to 1.8 billion. Let's see, the message that Vivi left behind in the newspaper, and learning about, let's see, Loki as a character and sort of hype dragon that he has, that others like sort of fear him. So yeah, I do like you got that. So just kind of showing just how dangerous a man this guy needs to be taken for the better sake of Wales. So I might have, let's see, not advocating strong political violence against one group or another. I'm just commenting here on this sort of like episode. So yeah. And also the highlight, besides like the epic double thread of Loki, you got a double fritzy spread for like painted spread for like Elbaf itself, and arguably the trees are pretty impressive. So yeah, that's very impressive. But I do like interesting to see how Loki intends to like burn the whole world down. Will you exceed what you felt? Who knows? But yeah, overall, I have to give this chapter probably a 9 out of 10. I might give it 9.5 or 8.5 over some stuff, but arguably, I think it was a good chapter. You get more introduction to the new giant warrior pirates. Consequently, learning a bit more of like the fact that Hydreion was a prince, and also probably the half brother of Loki, and he is a disgrace. And he's so powerful that he takes all the giants to restrain him. Not to mention the fact that he's got now also got a very powerful devil fruit. So yeah, he's pretty dangerous. So yeah. That's I'm curious about that giant sword. I wonder if it's some sort of devil fruit ability, but yeah, we'll probably know. But yeah. But yeah, overall, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10, like I said. And yeah, I hope that everyone who listens to the review enjoyed what I had to say. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. So there is that. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you for those who end up listening. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say, but goodbye for now. So yeah. As pretty much just closed up my thoughts about Loki, the new bounties, and the Straw Hats with their exploring of trying to find each other and all that. So yeah, as well as seeing just how big Elbaf is. So yeah, good chapter. Good night, everyone. See you next time.